Hey, Football is Just Like Shopping is her debut novel, which was greeted by rave reviews. So my first guest is going to help all women learn how to appreciate not only the game of football, but spending time with your man while enjoying the game of football. So without further ado, welcome our first guest, Miss Tricia Teague in the house. Tricia, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
Man, I am fantastic. We appreciate you calling in from the Chi-Town and hanging out with us for a minute.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
Now, you have been on our show before as a panelist, but not actually as an author, so thanks for coming back.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
It means you're a glutton for punishments. Hey, let's get started. Because I want to make sure I get in all these great questions I sat around and planned to ask you. First of all, I ask all the authors that come on the show this question. When did you get bitten by the writer's bug, Miss Teague?
I think I was a writer since birth. I was always writing as a kid. I got my undergraduate degree in journalism. So, wrote for a school newspaper when I was in high school and in college. And my first professional job was also at a newspaper in Peoria, Illinois. And I was in the sports department there. So I've been writing for a long time, but as you said, this is my first book.
Now, why did this particular book need to be written?
The short answer is my mother. The long answer is because I have a lot of girlfriends who would always ask me about football. Everybody who knows me well knows me that I am a sports aficionado. At one point in time, and I had to make myself pull back. At one point in time, I was always watching ESPN. I would take off, the first couple of days of March Madness in March just so I could watch TV all day. All things sports, I'm there. And a lot of my girlfriends would always ask me about football because they would say, well, I understand what's going on with basketball, but I don't get football at all. And I also have a girlfriend whose son now plays for the Arizona Cardinals, but way back when he was in high school playing football, I would go to his high school games with her and answer questions, and she'd say something like, that wasn't right, and I would explain to her why the call was right or what was going on. And so it just became clear to me that there are a lot of women out there, some of whom are around the game quite often, who have children who play, and they don't know what's going on.
Wow. Hey, I got to ask you this, and you talked a little bit about it just now, but how did you learn the game of football?
I can say, honestly, it's not because I was taught. I've always watched football. Since I was a very little girl, we watched whatever Daddy was watching, and on Sundays, Daddy was watching football, so we watched football. And my father was not one of those who put us in stereotypical roles. He didn't care that we were watching football or baseball or basketball or whatever. And so I learned a lot just from watching the game. I also was an avid reader. I would read the sports section every single day. So I learned a lot from reading the paper, too. And then things that I didn't know, I just, acquired over the years. You hear the same thing enough and you figure out what it is that they're talking about.